Good afternoon and welcome to Live with SwagHer. And I am your host, Kathy Blaze Jefferson. Today, I am so excited to have with you Miss Kristy D. Arrington. Welcome, Kristy.
Hey,
Such a pleasure to have you joining us here today. And I am so excited to talk with you about everything that's going on in your world. Kristy Arrington, founder and executive state director, Krowned by Kristy LLC. Kristy Arrington is a visionary pageant producer, entrepreneur, and youth development leader committed to cultivating confident, purpose driven women. As the founder and executive state director of Crowned by Kristy, she leads the Miss Black Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee USA Pageants, official state preliminaries to the nationally recognized Miss Black USA competition. With over 10 years of experience within the Miss Black USA organization, including her reign as Miss Black Mississippi USA 2017, Kristy has built a multi state platform that extends far beyond the state. Through leadership, development, structured programming, scholarship initiatives, and community engagement, her organization prepares contestants to excel professionally, academically, and socially. You have an amazing resume, and congratulations on all that you've done and all the support and all the advocacy that you have done for all the women in these industries. So thank you, and thank you for joining us here today.
thank you.
So, Kirsty, I'd like to ask, what inspired you to transition from title holder to state director, and how has that journey shaped the way you lead today?
Okay. Well, I would have to start and say that when I was a title holder, I did not have a director. So I was an at-large contestant. And basically, at-large contestant is an individual that applies to a national office and present their information. You go
Uh-huh.
through a vast of interviewing, and they kind of do a little bit of research about what you do and how you are, and they do ask questions about how would you represent your state. So if I had known back in 2017 when I was Miss Black Mississippi USA that I would one day be the director of the Miss Black USA system as far as for Mississippi, I would probably pinch myself. Um, I would say just kind of thinking back on a lot of the experiences that I had as a title holder, being afforded those opportunities, working diligently in across the state and throughout my community. I kind of pushed that same drive to the young ladies that I work with. Maybe not as hard because I always do tell them, hey, I did over 100 appearances. I'm not telling you to do that. However, if you do have that drive and that passion just to go into your community and, let people know about who you are and, what you stand for, um, do it. But, just do it with a little grace and a little patience. I also would say that I guess being a state director also is kind of one of those opportunities to also build and work with ladies of different groups. So
Uh-huh.
I'll say again, as a former title holder, it was great getting out there and meeting different people of different backgrounds. If they ran nonprofits, all the way to people that had their own businesses, and now seeing that kind of same respect working with the ladies that I'm working with as they're under my leadership as director,
Uh-huh.
also kind of seeing their light bulb moments, and it kind of reminds me of my experiences.
Yeah. Well, I have to say that you're truly amazing
Thank you.
because you know what? First off, you have to have confidence to walk into that arena, not having a director, not knowing what and where to go, what to do, but you did it.
Yes.
And a lot of times, you know what, when you don't have that confidence, I mean, you have the fear, you don't know what to do.
Mhm.
And a lot of times people young ladies get taken advantage of in this industry because they don't have someone there supporting them, or they don't know the right steps to take. But you did it and you survived, and you became a champion in that.
Yeah.
And you're championing other women and showing them the ropes and how to get there. So thank you for all that you've done to help all these other individuals. And yeah, you're a rock star, girl.
Yeah. As they said, Chick-fil-A, my pleasure.
In your opinion, what sets the Miss Black Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee? I have to, I have to label. My mom would say, "You better say Tennessee because that's my hometown." Yeah, my mom was from Memphis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, what sets them apart from other pageant systems and experiences?
I will say, just that development piece, as I mentioned earlier, working with different ladies of different backgrounds. A lot of them, the first thing they'll say is, "Well, I've always wanted to be in a pageant,"
Oh,
and I'm like, "Hey, we're here." So I basically worked with the ladies for almost a year,
okay.
leading up to their competition. We have a group of ladies right now that's preparing, for the three state productions at the end of this year, and they've been around since February.
Mm,
So, they'll be actually meeting up in the summer, Juneteenth weekend, actually, for a
okay.
contestant workshop. So I would put together a workshop that's meaningful to help the ladies prepare, because again, they oftentimes they are saying it's their first time, and it's definitely recognized, especially in our community. When you hear pageantry, is it's not all the times it's represent us. So, being here and
Right.
acknowledging that, because this system does go from age 13 to 45. So,
Wow.
with that, getting them prepared, bringing in ladies, maybe a walking coach, which we'll have this year. We have some wonderful dynamic models that's actually going to come and assist with, helping the ladies, not just how to walk on stage, but just also that level of confidence. Because I've
Mm-hmm.
seen these ladies do their work with different fashion weeks and stuff of that
Mm.
nature. So bringing in a vocal coach, not just for her
Okay.
to prepare them for how to speak well and enunciate
Right.
words and even
Uh,
singing, but also using their voice.
right.
This young lady Victoria, she came last year. Well, we did a workshop with her last year where she actually came and talked about the importance of your voice and being able to be an advocate, not just again using your voice, but also using your voice in literal signs.
Yes. Yes.
So, I would bring in people of that nature. Last year we brought in, and I try to do it based off of themes, but this year our theme is kind of music type. So I've kind of didn't do it as I normally would. Well, to a degree I did, but didn't. But the previous year me and the director from Miss Black Georgia, because I work with her as well, um, we did a combined pageant last year, and the theme was based off of sports, specifically
Okay.
football. So we tried to do the correlation between pageantry and football. And we brought in an actual sports psychologist to talk about the importance of being a team player, but also, having that will to succeed. So we try to bring in people that, help and prepare them compared to other
Yes.
schools where you apply. Nothing against that, because I do understand the process. It is a business.
Yeah.
But also the development piece actually helps them to become a better contestant. And you
Mm.
actually kind of see not just them, working on stage, but you see how they would navigate this process, through their community. Some of the ladies I've seen, some of the girls I've worked with, they're like three teens, ironically, are graduating high school this year. It's kind of funny to me.
Wow.
I had each of the teens, my former teen, my current teen, she's graduating high school, but then two former teens are also graduating high school. So to see from where they were and the different accolades they've done,
Yes.
that's a testament. And
That certainly is.
sure.
Yes, most definitely. I like, and since we're speaking about this, I mean, it is like seeing your babies blossom or your plant
Mhm.
blossom. That's amazing. You know, there's the good and the bad, or you hear the good and the bad, and you hear the negative talk
Mhm.
about pageants. Can you tell us why someone would want to be a part of a pageant?
Sure. So a lot of something I've learned, I guess I could speak from my personal and then I could speak from what's been observed or even things I've heard myself. For me, it was the opportunity because I'm an only child. I have no
Mhm.
siblings. Um, I always wanted to be in a space where I got to learn about other people. I was a
Mm,
Girl Scout. My mom put me in that. I was in choir for church. I participated in a lot of different activities. But pageantry was kind of one of those where, yes, you have the sisterhood piece or the like
mm,
the development piece, kind of building character, but
yeah.
also the idea of that it's competitive. I really didn't play sports, so this was my sport. Even though I didn't do it, I did a little bit of in high school. I started at age 2 in church pageants. When I barely could walk, they kind of walked me down the aisle. And then in high school, I did a couple that were fundraiser based. But then
Uh-huh.
in college, that last 2 years of college is when I seriously got into pageantry. And like I said, the enjoyment of seeing other girls like minded like you want to do things in the community, want to actually make a change, but at the same time, you're competing um, to talk about maybe world issues, not world peace,
Mhm.
but world issues
Uh-huh.
on a different standpoint. I always said that my crown was like a megaphone to talk about the different things that I want to address in the community. So that's from my personal aspect of as to
Mhm.
why I decided to compete. As far as what I've heard with a lot of girls that I've worked with, or ladies that I work with, they always mention about just that ability to be around like-minded women.
Okay.
Because sometimes they never seen it in some cases,
Right.
and
Right.
also just being able to talk about things that's important to them.
Okay,
Mhm,
okay. And you know what? I feel that it's very with anything that you're getting involved in, it's very
mhm.
important to do your research and know what it's all about. You don't want
Right.
to waste your time, no one else's time, your money or whatever, or to
Mhm.
leave a situation with a bad taste in your mouth. So you name some amazing things that individuals accomplish or they receive from being a part of a pageant. I mean, community is huge, and that's a
Mhm.
great reason to be a part of it. And like you said, there's some young ladies and young ladies that don't have any siblings, or
Mhm.
some have other personal things that are happening in their life that they need a Kristy or someone to help support them or see them through it. So
Mhm.
those are some good reasons to be a part of a pageant. So again, thank you for all that you do. And we have so many different pageant systems right now.
Mhm.
How would one determine which is the right one? Or, I mean, what would you, how would you refer them to that? What would you say?
Okay. So you're so correct about there are so many pageant systems, and sometimes that is a question when they see say like our for instance Miss Black USA or Miss Black Mississippi or Arkansas Tennessee. Oftentimes people are wondering why the word black. Well, the
Mm,
system is about 39 years old. It is the second oldest black system for women of African descent, because you
uh-huh.
can't be Caribbean or um, any other in the African diaspora. So with that, I guess you figure out what like if I guess the identity piece. Not saying that specifically if you're in Black USA, of course, you have to be of African descent, but
Okay.
you're I guess what what would you most, want to be around or a
Hmm.
part of? Because there are programs like Miss Caribbean America or Miss Caribbean
Okay.
USA, or they are Miss Plus USA. There are it's so many different systems. So just
Mm,
trying to see, you know, I guess your tribe or what system you would want to be
right.
of. And then if that pageant actually takes place in your state. Because the interesting part is every state, although it is America or USA, every state is not represented. So even
That
if
is
you feel like
true.
you be the first, maybe
Yes.
contacting that national office saying, "Hey, I am, this is my background," or even if it's petite, I think it's Miss Petite, or if it's any of those things, just figuring out, okay, I may be the first one, but I'm interested in
Mm.
representing, to let people know that in this state, you know, I, I represent X, Y, and Z.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm from Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
so I believe there was one here for a short moment,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not sure that there is anymore. So I'm really, but I've heard of other types of pageants that's around, and so I guess it's all about doing your research, and
Mm-hmm.
like you said, finding out who your tribe is and what you're trying to get out of this.
Correct. Correct.
So that is very important to do your research and know what you need out of this, because
Mm-hmm.
look, as they say, all shoes, they all don't fit. So
Correct.
one
Correct.
pageant isn't the same as another. So that's very important. How do you use your platform as a director to create opportunities for women beyond the stage and crown?
Hmm. Well, it's a two-part situation. It's the current and in the working. So this year, in which me and the Georgia director has always talked about ways of, getting our girls out there and having people know more about the system. Because a lot of times, even within our own state, when our girls do appearances, people are like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I never heard of this system before." So, actually, what was that, about 3 weeks ago? Our ladies actually went to Georgia. They attended the Natural Hair Expo, and they
Okay.
had the opportunity to actually meet different vendors, different
Hmm.
vendors, different brands, even some celebrities. So that was something that it was kind of, they were excited, but I believe the exposure piece kind of pushed their efforts. They've, had a great reign. They've had opportunities of putting events together. And that's what I was going to say next, is that we do tend to create and curate events in their states.
Oh,
Um, just for instance, also back in March, the Tennessee, my two Tennessee queens, Miss Black Tennessee and Ms. Black Tennessee USA, held an event in what's the name of that town? It's a small town. It's outside of Nashville.
okay.
Springfield, Tennessee, and they
Oh.
did an event called "Readjust Your Crown."
Hmm.
So those are, because it was is I try to do events based off their platforms, like a fundraiser event. They have a little fun, but it's also still pieces of their platforms being pulled out or exposed. So my Miss, her platform is pertaining to her theme is anyone could be a queen.
Okay.
Then my Miss, she's a licensed esthetician, but she also talks about was it juvenile justice and basically the whole political movement and everything pertaining to the justice system.
Oh,
So I wanted to kind of bridge that to a degree, but also talk a little bit about mental wellness. So
oh,
the readjusting your crown, they were able to talk about mental health and just that walk,
oh,
of being not just a pageant queen, but actually being a queen in your own right.
oh.
So those
Do
are
they do your queens? Do they come in already with a thought of what their platform is, or is that something you sit down with them and you guys figure that out together?
one, they get it on their application. They kind of tell us like what they're interested in or what that community involvement piece is, and then we kind of delve a little bit into it. So we do, me specifically, would have like those individual conversations with the ladies if they already don't have a platform. So
Mm-hmm.
it's, and even when that happens, I normally ask them, what is something that you're passionate about?
Mm-hmm.
And if they can talk about it for days, not even joking, weeks at a time, that's something that's very passionate about, about them. And they'll be more able to walk with that compared to
Uh-huh.
just giving them something and saying, "Hey, go do this," because they're probably not going to be as passionate about it.
So at this point, with your business, your career, and your pageant, Arkansas, Mississippi, Tennessee, I know you're very well known out there. Do you do you have to recruit, or are people coming to you?
I have to recruit.
Do
I
you?
I wish. I mean, sometimes we do, or I do, would have girls that may have applied in the past, but
Uh-huh.
decided to kind of back out for whatever reason, and they then begin to have the courage to return, which is a great thing because we never know what the circumstance was that from year to year. I do have a couple of those, but a lot of times it's a big recruitment piece.
Oh, okay.
So I actually plan out each year ahead of time when I'm going to do recruitment. So
Okay.
the last, this is probably, I'm going into year 5. Well, production 6, year 5. I always call it that because it's always a year ahead. Um, I normally do recruitment between the months of, I think it's October. Well, no, one year was October, but not this year. This year was December up until April 1st.
Okay.
And it's just kind of getting out there, letting people know about the program, like through, social media, or putting out different advertisements on
Mhm.
social media, kind of tagging within those areas. So my first year of each time I became a director, because actually it was kind of a simultaneous moment. Mississippi, I was director, started becoming director in 2021.
Mhm.
Tennessee was 2 years later in 2023. And last year actually was Arkansas's first year, which will be
Wow.
coming into this year.
So
So,
are they all up under one umbrella, or are they separate?
so as far as production, they Tennessee and Arkansas is together because of proximity of where they're located.
Oh,
Doing their production together, and Mississippi separate. So
okay.
sometimes I could do all three, but I decided before this year to do them separately. Only
Okay.
because I wasn't sure how many girls I had, and I didn't want to overdo a venue, because that's
Right.
then being a director is not just recruitment, but also those logistics of those buildings. And a lot of times those buildings don't have dressing spaces for over 40 or 50 girls at one time.
So
So
what has been your largest number of girls?
as a collective, I would say I think I've done 21.
Okay.
And that was about, not last year. Well, last year we had almost 20. This year I have almost 20. No, I got 16 this year. Yeah. 16 this year, almost 20 last year. Yeah, it was 21 by itself, Mississippi, just as one state. Last year
Mhm.
I think because of the idea of going to Atlanta probably was a little problematic.
Okay.
Um, but which shouldn't have been, but it we also have to consider our audience and what those needs are and stuff like that. So I would like to get to 40, 50 girls, but also to that, would have to come with additional persons and things
Sure.
of this nature. But
Sure.
I can see it happening.
Many contestants describe your production as intentional, polished, and immersive. What
Mhm.
role does branding and atmosphere play in shaping the confidence and experience of the woman you serve?
Okay. I would say outside of, like I mentioned earlier about the themes, I actually spend a lot of time the year prior deciding what the theme is. And once the contestant is experiencing they're experiencing it in real time.
Ah,
So, for instance, this year, not talking too much into this year's production, that was planned last year, like how I want it to look, the experience that they're going to
uh-huh.
receive, how everything kind of intertwines with each other, is always of kind of like sit and kind of ponder on those experiences. And I mean, it's all the way down to the music. Like I kind of visualize everything before it comes
Right.
together.
Kristy, do you have a whole team, board of directors, or everyone that's helping you with this? Or how is this accomplished?
I would say in a perfect world, yes. But in actuality, it's myself. The Georgia director, she's my branding and marketing.
Okay.
She actually creates a lot of the graphics that you all see on social media. Me and her can sit on a phone call for hours, and people are thinking, "Oh, they're just sitting there chatting." No, we're planning every single thing that we want to see. I also have um, which is my best friend of almost over 20 years. Um, Tiffany, she's my image consultant. So she has been doing makeup for a very, very long time. And she
Ah,
also have experience working with large companies. So she brings that understanding of, like, I guess, the visual piece for the girls, and just,
okay.
giving them like the knowledge base, and even walking through makeup tutorials, or if
Oh,
it's they putting these outfits together, things of that nature. So she helps with that.
that's awesome because you know what? That's not everyone's forte right there.
Correct, correct. She does a great job. Me and her kind of bounce off ideas as well. Because a part of the Crown by Kristy brand, I actually sell wardrobe for pageant girls. So
Oh,
sometimes it's talking with her on different things, and she like, hey, y'all need to talk to Miss Kristy because she got some clothes. So it would be a we're a pretty solid team
okay.
now. And then I have like different people, hair team. Like I have I would say a hair and makeup team. Just as a recent this year, that's gonna work with our girls, backstage. Because normally I would just bring in a group of cosmetologists and
Uh-huh.
different hairstylists and stuff to come in and provide the service. But now I kind of offset that and say, hey, this group actually, she has a nonprofit for hairstylists that
Okay.
actually go out into the community and provide services to people in need. That
Okay. And hopefully you'll know what you're getting ahead of time that fits the whole theme of what you're going for.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So
So
what
mhm.
has been one of the most rewarding moments you've experienced while developing contestants and title holders throughout your years as state director?
Hmm. I would say last year, um, two of two out of, let's see, at all three for Tennessee, all three. So out of six, I had two placed in top five. One
Wow.
was second runner up, and the other was fourth runner up.
Wow.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, thank you.
That's awesome.
They were talented ladies anyway.
Mhm.
Honestly, all of them are talented ladies. Even the ladies that come, that are right now, typically have a good eye to kind of see um, kind of what's to come. Of course, it's all based off the judges, which they made good choices. As
Mm.
far as on the state level, and then just working with them up to nationals. So to see them excel, names being called, that definitely did something for me. Also, just seeing the growth of the ladies that actually come through as local contestants. Maybe they don't win the state title, but they're
Uh-huh.
still doing great things in the communities that they
Right.
live in. So I would say just constantly seeing that and constantly seeing their growth, and some of them
Yes.
not just graduating high school. I have a couple that had just finished their associate's degrees, and
Oh,
actually seeing that when they were competing, they had just graduated high school. So now 2 years later, they're finishing their associates. They're going off to different art schools. They're doing
nice.
really great things. So
Nice.
just kind of
You know,
seeing
because
that.
we live in a rough world right now. So
Yes.
it is great that we have pageants and things that, you know, when you're dealing with stuff at home or work, you have a tribe to go to support you, or you have this other place that supports you and you can forget about what's going on over there.
Mhm.
I want to talk about Crowned by Kristy because we haven't spoken about that yet. Tell us a little bit about Crowned by Kristy.
Okay. Well, I will say that the pageant aspect actually is one part of it. So it is a three-part brand, where I provide clothing, where I sell a wardrobe to ladies in pageantry or ladies that like to be fashionable. I also train individuals that want to be directors of their own systems. And then
Okay.
also the competition piece. So we did talk about it. We just
Yes.
talked about one part of it.
Okay. Okay. That is wonderful. So, for those states or locations that don't have a pageant, um, they can contact Crowned by Kristy, and you can teach them how to get their pageant started in their area. Is that what you would do?
Correct. So, initially, I was training ladies to actually become local directors under me to host their own local pageants that will go to the state competition.
Hmm.
But I think I can probably take it to another step and actually assist ladies who are looking to host in their own state competitions. I've
I'm
actually, really, I want to be honest. When I first started Crown by Christie, it was really just pageant consultant and coaching. So I went from being a consultant and a coach to assisting different like fraternity pageants and stuff like that, and then
okay.
to helping other organizations put on their pageant competitions, or even being a judge, being a host. So I've kind of
Uh-huh.
played all sides of
So
in
you stuck your toes in all parts of it, is what you
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And that's great that you too have the wardrobe part also, because
Hmm.
you know what, that's hard to find also, or know what's
Hmm.
the best dress. I'm sure you consult them on the best look that fits their body, or best colors and things like that. So that's awesome that you have that opportunity to share that with them as well. I mean, why
Yes.
not get it all in one place? So
Hmm.
that's wonderful. So, Kristy, do you have anything coming up that our audience need to know about? Anyone that's looking that want to be a part of the pageant? Do you have anything coming up soon?
I do. So I guess for one, just to answer, I guess to plug in about the if they are interested in competing, we do have a couple of spots remaining, even though we kind of publicly stopped accepting applications. But if there are some ladies that are interested, specifically Arkansas, Tennessee, we do have some offerings available for
Oh,
ladies to come and compete, especially in our Miss, which is from ages 18 to 26, and our
okay,
Mias, which is 27 to 45. And they
okay,
do have to live, work, or reside in the state of Arkansas or Tennessee. Um,
okay.
as far as events, we do have the um, event that's going to take place on Essence Fest. We wanted to have an event for ladies to come out, not just ladies in the pageant world, but women in general. So it
Mm,
is a spill the tea, I guess not like messy tea, but to spill the tea event. It's a send off party and a live podcast, and it's going to take place July 5th in Kenner. It's kind of outside of New Orleans, but it's in Kenner, Tennessee. Well, not Tennessee, goodness, Kenner, Louisiana, at the NOLA station.
okay, okay. So, where can our audience find you at?
Okay. So I do have individual Facebook pages for Facebook and Instagram pages for all the systems. However, they all start at official Miss Black. There is a official Miss Black MS USA pageant, which is for Mississippi,
Oh,
official TN USA pageant for Tennessee, and then official AR for Arkansas USA pageant on Instagram, and then all the it'll be spelled out, full spelling for the Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee Facebook pages. And then we also
wonderful.
have the website.
Wonderful. So I know you're recruiting. So your next pageant, your
Mhm.
next official pageant, is it October?
So the Mississippi competition actually is the week of Thanksgiving
Okay.
in Biloxi, Mississippi. And
Okay.
then the Arkansas Tennessee competition takes place the week of Christmas.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I can just imagine those dresses. I just went there. Ooh. I just see that. I bet that's beautiful.
Mhm.
So we got Tennessee, Mississippi. What about Arkansas? Oh, Arkansas and Tennessee is combined.
Correct, correct.
Okay, wonderful. So we have some comments. Let's see. Francesca, the pageant sounds great and well planned out. Yes, it does. It
Yeah.
does. So, so you're give them your website one more time, please.
Okay, sure. It's the website is www.miss black pageant.com.
Wonderful. So, Miss Kristy, it was such a pleasure to have you here with us today. I'd like to ask, how's your experience with SwagHer been thus far?
It's been great. It's
Wonderful.
definitely been a great experience.
Wonderful. That's great to hear. And if you have anything else coming up or any flyers or any information, feel free to email those to us so that we can, I'm sure it is well for you.
Hmm.
Okay, so it was a
Yeah.
pleasure to have you here today. Thank you. And is there any last remarks or anything you need to share before we get going?
I don't have anything else, but it's definitely been a great experience with you, Miss Kathy, and Swagger Magazine allowing me to have this opportunity.
Wonderful. And I would like to thank you and thank you all for joining us here today on what's going on with SwagHer, and we will catch you next time.